Hello, my name is Ellie, and I'm a recovering alcoholic addict living in California. This is my story. When I entered high school, it was a relief to find alcohol because it made me fit in, at least in my own mind. I no longer was plagued by what others thought. It was like someone turned up the volume to all of the fun that life had to offer. I believe I was an alcoholic right from the start. I say that because I was in pursuit of the next drink from the time it became my solution. Throughout my high school years, I was quite skilled at finagling ways to get alcohol, as only the desperate do. It was in high school where I started losing friendships behind alcohol. I placed it above family, friends, and telling the truth. I stole from my family to get money for booze. You see, when alcohol is your answer, then you must pursue it at all costs. After high school, I started a series of geographics. I used alcohol to not feel the fear of moving somewhere new and not knowing anyone. I used alcohol to convince myself I was having a good time, despite my deep loneliness. Alcohol is a disease of denial, and I was in full flight from reality. I continued to damage my relationships and employment through alcohol use. At the age of 23, using a lot of drugs, I found myself in a complete breakdown and ended up in a psych ward. Upon exiting the hospital, I found myself in an AA meeting and was relieved to learn my insanity was from my alcohol and drug use. I found the message of hope in those meetings. However, being a young person, I found it difficult to believe the things that AA people were telling me. So after 9 months of being clean and sober, I started smoking pot, quit going to meetings, and within a year I was already back to the destructive drinking. I found myself using the drugs I swore off forever, the ones that had led me to the padded rooms of a psych ward. Over the next 5 years, my drug and alcohol use became a dependence rather than a solution. There was no more fun in it. It simply was self-medicating to get through life. During that time, I had a baby, which I believed was a gift from God. I knew that I was not taking care of my gift. This time, I was completely ready for a change and made my way back to Alcoholics Anonymous. Throughout my first 6 months of meetings, I would hear people speak of having had a spiritual awakening, and I used to think, I want one of those. Then one day, when I was frustrated with my obsession to drink and use, I held pot and a pipe in my hands, and I realized that God was not going to physically stop me from doing this. So I put it down, and I prayed the deepest prayer I had ever prayed. Deep down in my soul, I prayed for God to remove the obsession to use. That evening, I was watching a movie with Danny DeVito where he was sitting at a kitchen table with a large bottle of vodka. And I thought, that's me. I turned my head to the left and I was transported into a different reality where I felt the complete insanity of alcoholism. It was a very intense feeling. I turned my head back to the TV and just like that, I was back in the present moment in the living room. Nothing had changed, but everything had changed. That evening, the obsession to drink and use was removed, and it has never come back. I believe it was a result of the prayer I had done earlier that day. I had my own spiritual awakening. As someone who drank and used every single day, it was nothing short of a miracle and God's handiwork that I have not needed to take a drink in the past 30 years. What I have gained from my sobriety is freedom and a new way to live. I owe my life and my recovery to God, and I pray to the Holy Spirit for His will for me and the power to carry that out.
If you enjoyed our video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. If you have a story you'd like to get off your chest, we'd love for you to share it on our channel. Check the links in the description to share a story. Until next time, keep an open eye.